Caribbean waters. Presidential order executed. Narco-submarine destroyed by drone strike. No pilots at risk, just precision. Presidential doctrine in action. 3 fronts: Caribbean cartels, Iran nuclear sites, Gaza operations. Strike when necessary.
Peace through strength isn't just a slogan anymore. It is reshaping the entire world order. Trump's doctrine just delivered 3 stunning victories that prove America is back. First, Hamas violating the Gaza ceasefire with RPG attacks and got obliterated within hours. Israeli strikes took out their commanders while protesters went silent. Second, Trump revealed how destroying Iran's nuclear program made this peace possible. And third, he exposed a drug-carrying submarine operation showing terrorists and cartels they can't hide anywhere. From the Middle East to the high seas, enemies are learning that testing Trump means instant consequences. Even Bill Maher admitting the protesters vanished once their heroes started shooting everybody. What Trump said about boots on the ground changes everything, so watch closely. And while Hamas tests American resolve and gets crushed, I'm testing breakthrough technology that actually delivers. C60 Evo isn't just another supplement. It's a Nobel Prize-winning molecule that made lab rats live 90% longer. My results: brain fog eliminated, joint pain that plagued me for years gone. My wife's transformation even more dramatic. She looks and feels 10 years younger. This molecule is 172 times more powerful than vitamin C, working at the cellular level where aging happens. Chris Beres has perfected this in his Houston lab since 1991. Visit c60evo.com/NNN. Use code NNN to get real strength because it starts with your health. It's linked below. So a U.S. drone strike hitting a vessel in the Caribbean. The declassified video has now surfaced. President Trump sharing images of the drone strike in the southern Caribbean off the Venezuelan coast, targeting a cartel drug semi-submersible vessel, not a full submarine, as some officials have claimed. Look at this thing. Semi-submersible. So it's right there on the surface. The drone got it in its crosshairs. And where's the hit? It's coming. Boom! Oh, damn. Can you imagine being in that thing? No idea what that you're just 1 minute just sailing along with all your drugs safely stashed aboard. And then boom. Game over. This is sending a message to Venezuelan drug cartels, Tren de Aragua. The party is over. I wonder how much drugs were in that thing. Here is the location, the strike in the Caribbean, right off of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Here are some other locations of strikes President Trump has executed. Okay, so that's amazing. That just officially released. This is the post that was made on Truth Social by the president. It was my great honor to destroy a very large drug-carrying submarine that was navigating towards the U.S. on well-known narco-trafficking transit routes. U.S. intelligence confirmed the vessel was loaded up with mostly fentanyl and other illegal narcotics. There were 4 known narco-terrorists on board the vessel. 2 of the terrorists were killed. At least 25,000 Americans would die if I allowed the submarine to come ashore. 2 surviving terrorists are being returned to their countries of origin, Ecuador and Colombia, for detention and prosecution. No U.S. forces were harmed in the strike. Under my watch, the United States of America will not tolerate narco-terrorist trafficking illegal drugs by land or by sea. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I love when he signs off like that. Oh, man, President Trump was just asked about the potential survivors on his strike. Let's listen.
Survivors from your latest on Venezuela, there are survivors from your latest boat strike. What happens to those survivors?
Well, I'll ask Marco to discuss that possibly.
Yeah, it's well known there's an ongoing narco-terrorist operation the United States has been conducting. As far as details of any recent strikes, we're not prepared here to announce all those details, but you'll get that information here very shortly.
And how are there survivors when these are meant to be lethal attacks?
Yeah, again, I mean, we're undertaking these operations against narco-terrorists. That's what these are. These are terrorists. Let's be clear. And but as far as the details of any recent operations, when we are prepared to announce those, we will, as the president has consistently done. So you may get something on that later today.
Let me ask you, that was in a submarine, right? We attacked a submarine, and that was a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs. Just so you understand, this was not an innocent group of people. I don't know too many people that have submarines, and that was an attack on a drug-carrying, loaded-up submarine. Yeah.
On Putin, is it your belief, as Mr. Zelensky said yesterday?
President Trump not messing around. Oh, this is another angle? Secretary of War, this is another angle. Oh my God. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has released footage showing the U.S. Navy striking a drug smuggling vessel linked to El Ejército de Liberación Nacional, a designated terrorist organization in the Caribbean Sea. This is 42 minutes ago. Dude! Another one. Oh my God. Look at that, dude. And it's all night vision. It looks like it got so bright from the night. Yeah, look at that. You can actually see it got so bright on the drone's night vision cameras that it forced the infrared sensors to shift, or maybe they just shifted it. I don't know. But that's generally how those things operate. Dude, that is insane. Wow. President Trump declaring war. But we have this sad news. In the last 48 hours, Hamas has executed nearly 50 Palestinians in Gaza. Mehdi Hassan, not a word. Anna Kasparian, not a word. Chunk Uyghur, not a word. The media, not a word. The UN, not a word. Hamas executing Palestinians. Hamas attacking Israeli forces in the southern Gaza Strip on Sunday. Israel responding with airstrikes. President Trump, of course, reacting. But President Trump is a man of peace. Here is what he was talking about on the Gaza peace deal.
A mastermind who started probably with Soleimani. He was a mastermind who did a lot of bad things. He's the father of the roadside bomb that would blow up, and most of the people are great patriots, are great soldiers that you see without arms, legs, and lots of problems. He was the one. That was his way of saying, we don't like you too much, and affected a lot of people. That started one. But I think very big was recently with the taking out of the nuclear weapon from Iran. When we blew those beautiful B-2 bombers, when they went into Iran airspace and they came out unscathed. I mean, the whole thing was the most beautiful military operation. They flew for 37 hours. We had everything. And they went into that and they bombed the hell out of it. And when we destroyed their nuclear capability, they no longer became the bully of the Middle East. And we hit them a lot of other ways, along with it, Israel. And they no longer became the bully. And if they were, we wouldn't have been able to make the deal we just made, which is basically peace in the Middle East, beyond Gaza, peace in the Middle East. And all of those great Arab nations, I mean, you look at Saudi Arabia, then Qatar, and UAE, those three, and then you have the ones that, as you know, joined the Abraham Accords, but they were able to breathe, they were able to do what they had to do, and they've been fantastic. But if we didn't take out the nuclear, there's no way that we would have been able to do this. It started.
Peace through strength, man. The guy knows how to leverage his power. There's no question about that. He was asked about Hamas disarming by Maria Bartiromo, exclusive interview with her.
A hard line.
Is there a timeline to get Hamas to disarm, in your mind?
Not a timeline, not a hard line, but we're going to see how it all works out. They've lived there for a long time. They're very violent. As you understand, you've been covering it for a long time. But we're going to find out. Don't forget, 50,000 of them have been killed, okay? Mm-hmm. So they killed 1,200 people in the October 7th attack. It was an attack. They killed 1,200, but Israel can say that we killed 50,000. And so you'd say it's a whole new set of people. And it is. I mean, you know, they get replaced by other people, young people. But we're going to find out. So it's not a hard timeline, but it's a line in my own mind. And at a certain point, if they don't do what they're supposed to do, then we'll have to do it for them.
Is there a timeline to get?
Timeline. Well, we're going to find out, right? Violent people. President Trump says, Hamas, violent people, very violent part of the world. If we have to, we'll disarm them. We won't have boots on the ground, though. Hamas, though, violating the ceasefire agreement just 10 hours ago.
An RPG military official telling Fox News that Hamas violated the ceasefire agreement, launching an RPG and a sniper attack against Israeli forces inside Gaza. In response, the Israeli military bombed targets in the southern and northern parts of the enclave. This military official telling Fox this is a bold violation of the ceasefire. Remember, the Israelis are still in control of 53% of Gaza. They have remained on high alert over concerns that Hamas might violate the agreement. And they built out a series of preparations for this very possibility. Already today, there are calls from Israeli ministers on the far right, including Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, to resume the war against Hamas. But we do understand Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to hold security consultations today about this Hamas ceasefire violation to determine the next steps. All of this.
Oh, yeah, President Trump not too pleased, I'm sure. Bill Maher, he says, he asks, where are the keffiyeh-wearing college kids where they went now that Hamas is shooting everybody? Where are the protesters? Have you noticed that now that Hamas has taken over, they're what? Mark Cuban says, shooting everybody. Maher goes, shooting everybody? Where were the protesters? Suddenly they're gone. They're quiet. Cuban says, can't be found. Yeah, can't be found anywhere. This is okay? Question? It's just amazing, the asymmetry of what's going on. I think we have one more here from the press secretary.
Flying, I want your audience to know how hard President Trump is working in the pursuit of peace, not just here in our own country, on the homeland, in the domestic front, but around the world. The president started the week flying to Israel and Egypt, came back within 36 hours to honor Charlie Kirk at the Medal of Freedom ceremony in the White House. And then the next day, he spends 3 hours on the phone with President Putin trying to bring this war to an end. The following day, today, we had President Zelensky at the White House, and the president had a 3-hour-long meeting with him in the cabinet room. And in both of these conversations with both Putin and Zelensky, they were cordial, but very frank. And the president of the United States has said to both sides of this war, this has been going on for far too long. Far too many innocent people have been killed. And the United States of America is growing very weary and tired of this war. Enough is enough. Both sides need to recognize the reality on the ground right now and come to a peace agreement, because President Trump's patience and the patience of the American people is growing very thin with this war. And so he was very frank and direct, but President Trump will never give up. And you saw that come to a resolution with the peace deal in Israel and in Gaza, with the beautiful release of the hostages. That was another promise made and promise kept by President Trump. And it cannot be overstated how hard the president and his incredible national security team, Special Envoy Witkoff, Vice President Vance, Secretary of State Rubio, Secretary Hegseth, our Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, there's so many behind the scenes as well, who have worked so hard, but especially the president, who literally does not sleep and works around the clock in the pursuit of peace. And he will continue to do that with respect to Russia and Ukraine, just like he has with Israel and Gaza. And he truly believes that there can be a real chance for an everlasting peace in the Middle East. And you saw Arab leaders and European leaders from around the world gathering in Egypt with the president and thanking him for this historic accomplishment. It's a new dawn in the Middle East, and we hope that can be true as well with Russia and Ukraine, and the president is working very hard on that.
It is a new dawn. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is American dominance restored. From Gaza to the Gulf, Trump's message rings clear. Test us and face immediate destruction. Hamas thought they could play games with ceasefires. Their commanders are now eliminated. Drug cartels thought submarines could hide their poison. Trump's military found them and destroyed them. Iran's nuclear program already taken out, clearing the path for real Middle East peace. Trump's promise of no boots on the ground while still projecting overwhelming force is genius. We're not nation building anymore. We're nation defending. And the keffiyeh-wearing campus crowds mysteriously vanishing once their terrorist idols start getting vaporized. Even Bill Maher can't deny the reality. It's not random violence. It's calculated peace through superior firepower. Every terrorist, cartel boss, and rogue regime now knows the era of American weakness is over. The Trump doctrine is simple. We want peace, but we are ready for war. The question is this. The question is this hardline peace through strength approach the only way to secure lasting peace? Let us know in the comments and show your strength with our American badass gear from our merch shop. It is linked down below.